Get down on it. Hey, it's the Sports Nuts, y'all. Come on, Matt, sing that song. You know that song. Get
Get
down
down
on it.
on it.
Dun dun. Oh, look, and Matt even fixed the introduction.
The Sports Nuts are back.
You are now listening to The Sports Nuts.
Yes. What is going on, my people? Welcome to yet another great episode of the Sports Nuts. Welcome back to our old schedule, as we are now back on Tuesdays and Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hey, real quick, let's give a special shout out to 95.5 KFCE, Tiger Nation Live, and the other 8 radio stations we air on, plus the 46 countries we air on worldwide. Thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot to us that we are blessed by your company. Hey, Shane, man, happy Tuesday. Great to see you. How was your weekend?
Oh man, it was great. Got to cook for mom for Mother's Day on Saturday. Had a couple friends over. Food Line had a great sale on ribeyes, like basically half price, $9.99 a pound up here. So went and got a few nice ones of them. Just listening to music, enjoyed the weather, man, and still enjoying the weather. Not too hot up here yet.
Yes.
But man,
Yes.
other than that, it's kind of weird. We're getting towards that midway point of the week already, so definitely excited about that. Especially going to Charleston this weekend, visit some family. So be great.
Nice. Yeah. People don't realize the weather is it's about to change and it's gonna get hot and hot and hot. Matt, man, happy to see you. Welcome back, man. How was your weekend? Did you get a chance to watch any good sports?
Didn't get to watch. Excuse me, didn't get to watch too much sports, too many sports. I did partake in the sport. Tried to bowl a little bit, man. Ended up with, as you see here, this bruise right here, man. Ended up kind of tearing a muscle, or severely straining a muscle in my arm, man. Trying to do too
I
much
can't take
bowling,
you
man.
anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I'm gonna have to
That
retire.
old age starting to
Hey,
show.
man, I'm gonna have to retire from the
You hit
lanes, man.
40, it hits you, man, already.
Who you telling? This is bowling. I've never gotten hurt
uh,
bowling before, man. In all my years
Never
of
say
bowling.
never.
For those who don't know, man, when I bowl with the spin. So I usually use a size 16 bowling ball, but I only had a size 14. This place only had a size 14, and I just bowled, man. And then when I did it, I could just feel the tear in my arm. I felt the tear in 2 different places. So I was like, I'm done. Couldn't even. This was on Mother's Day. This was on Mother's Day. So, man, that's how my weekend was, man. My weekend was in pain. So
You're falling apart, man. I don't know. I can't take you anywhere these days.
man, you know how it is, man. You know how it
Yeah.
is.
Oh man. Hey, real quick, Ben will be joining us momentarily. Update on my knee. I have actually some really good news. I am currently a month ahead of schedule for rehabilitation wise, and I only have 2.5 weeks left of physical therapy before I am discharged to continue my rehabilitation at home. So really excited on that one. I am getting better each day now. Now, once I'm discharged, I still do have about 8 months or so left to get fully recovered. But the good news is I'm moving along rather smoothly, and I'm really happy about that one. So, y'all, tonight we have a real treat. It is normally it would be our Monday, but we not not we blah, blah, blah. We have not one but two guests tonight. First, he's our very good friend. Marcus Mack is back. You already know he's got a lot of great content to speak of. And afterwards, our good friend John from the Pitch Grid is joining us too. And you're going to want to hear the story that John's going to share because, dare we say, Spygate 2.0. Maybe they got their footage from the New England Patriots. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting on that one. Then stick around because after John leaves, we are talking about an icon of the game, a legend amongst all, a fan favorite, Bobby Cox. He did unfortunately pass away over the weekend. We talk about his impact to the game of baseball, give us our fondest memories. Y'all, then the stage is set for Women's College World Series softball. Who advances in the tournament and who could win it all? We will discuss that as well. And then lastly, the second round of expansions has happened in the Professional Women's Hockey League, and it is not done yet. We are going to talk about the cities who have received expansion franchises and where the next set of expansions could possibly take place. That plus, we are talking about sports stories where we all give you a sports story that doesn't get enough attention. And everyone's favorite segment, it is the honorable mentions, where we give you 2 to 5 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of, or they just don't cover, but we do. Plus, we have you guys, which are the most interactive fans ever. So as we're still waiting for Marcus to come on, hey, real quick, I want to give a special shout out to my daughter, Addison. The reason why I know I give my daughter a lot of praise, but the reason why I'm giving her a special shout out is because we both Cassie and I have known about this for about a week now, but we made it officially telling her this morning actually. But she has made it to Powdersville play All-Stars. She is going to be in the All-Stars playing for state. If they win two out of the 4 games over the course of that tournament, we advance to state, which will play in Columbia. If we win there, we go to nationals, which would be in Charleston. So really excited for what's transpiring for Addison. So yes, my daughter really has taken into the world of softball. Really proud of her and her achievements. And also, by the way, y'all, there's only like 8 days left of school here. Isn't that crazy to think that for a second? There's 8 days left of the school year, and I can tell you, my wife and my girls are all ready to get out of school, to get out of school and enjoy their time. Hey, while we're waiting on Marcus to get here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what happened today. 2 NBA players passed away. Matt, one player in particular, he played for the Atlanta Hawks, or as you like to say, the Atlanta Hawks. Jason Collins, the first openly gay NBA player, passed away today at the age of 47 due to brain cancer. And that's pretty sad to think about that, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Especially when you just sit back and remember when him and his brother came into the NBA draft at that time, both come up from Stanford, which paved the way, like I mentioned before, for the
Lopez brothers,
the Lopez twins, which they were a big reason that the Lopez twins even went to that university. But man, it's very unfortunate news, man. Very unfortunate news. Very for we're gonna put the personal life aside. I mean, he was just a good, solid guy, good guy to have on your team.
He was a very dependable
veteran.
basketball player.
Yeah, good veteran player. Come in, get you some rebounds. Clog that paint up, and that's kind of what his role was. And he did good at his role, man. He was a good role player in this league. Unfortunate for anybody to lose to the C word, man. Just a disease that is taken away many people, as I know, taking both of my parents as well. So, man, unfortunate for the family, man, and unfortunate for him as well. So I just hope that his impact is felt, and I hope he did enough for his family to mourn him.
Absolutely. Hey, Anthony, good to see you, man. He just said, I subscribe to the channel. I am watching you guys as a Heat fan. Hey, nothing wrong with that one, man. We welcome all on there. And then
Okay. Hold on. Let me touch that. All right, no, Anthony, come on. Really, are you really going to like say that band 83 points was like what was that, man? What was that? You guys really can't accept that. I mean, I want to hear from the Heat fans. Are they really going to accept that? I mean,
Well, we heard Ben's take on it.
yeah,
So.
we heard Ben's take on it. Yeah, we did. And Ben is a Heat fan. And then also another unfortunate player passed away. Brandon. Oh my goodness, I was about to say his name. Ross said Brendan. It's Brandon Clark. He played for the Memphis Grizzlies. He unfortunately passed away, and they are investigating it as a possible overdose. Man, it's really sad. Oh, by the way, he said I could care less, dude.
Yeah.
But it's sad. Obviously, that's going on. I mean, he came out of Gonzaga, was a highly touted player. Unfortunately, he didn't live up to the potential he could have.
Injuries, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of injuries.
Injuries because in that pandemic shortened season, I mean, he was right there with Ja Morant, his teammate, on the All NBA rookie team that year. I think he averaged 12 as a rookie during the pandemic season,
and like 7 or 8 boards. I mean,
yeah,
real solid, real solid player, man. Real solid player,
yeah,
but just
injuries and I mean, it's what was he 29?
Yeah,
29.
29 years old. 29 years young.
Gosh,
And
can you imagine not seeing 30, man? I mean,
I know.
geez,
It's a sad situation. And here was there was a lot of actual red flags to start too. He got pulled over, and then he got arrested for being in possession of controlled substance and intent to distribute or whatever it was. There was a lot of red flags already there.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize, man, when you're hurt all the time in the league, a lot of these guys, they get addicted to these painkillers, man. Because look, guys, having a contract, I think he got paid too. Having a contract that you have and having to perform at an elite level, knowing that, even though NBA contracts are guaranteed, but knowing that at any time, man, if you don't live up to your contract, man, that you can get cut. I mean, it's tough to deal with, man. So these guys, they go through a lot, man. These athletes go through a lot when all your whole life is just playing a sport, and then it's just taken from you, and it's like, what can you do? So it's unfortunate, man, but
yeah, it's sad. Excuse me. It's a sad situation to say the least. But our thoughts and prayers go out, obviously, to his family. Hopefully, they can find some solace into everything with it's transpiring. We'll learn more as the weeks go by. Obviously, it's sad, and yeah, look, Anthony just said people forget some of these kids are just kids getting dropped at 18 or 19, and they're not ready to handle the pro life. That is true. They aren't, and you're coming to this realm of millions upon millions all of a sudden. Naturally, you're going to be, you have no idea. If you've never been really taught how to handle money, you're not really going to be like, oh man, this is how I handle it. It's a sad situation indeed. And like I said, our thoughts and prayers go out to him. I just texted our guest to see where he is at. And then we will know in just a few minutes where they're at. So while we are waiting, if you could also do me a favor, Shane, and text Ben and just to get an ETA on him, greatly appreciate it. So while we are waiting, it's always good to see everybody. We're happy to see you guys, but we got to get real serious again for a moment. Over the weekend, we lost a legend to the game of baseball. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014. He is the greatest manager ever to wear an Atlanta Braves uniform. One of the top ones ever in general. We're talking about the icon, the mogul himself, the skipper, Bobby Cox. Yes, he unfortunately passed away over the weekend at the age of 84. Matt, you're a lifelonger Braves fan, just like I am, and we unfortunately didn't win as many championships as we had hoped with Bobby Cox, but still an icon. He did more for the game of baseball than anybody else really has.
That's true.
He turned, as you may have mentioned, he turned Atlanta into America's team. It really is. People
Yeah.
try to say that Dallas is America's team in football. The Braves are America's team in baseball. What do you remember most about him, Matt?
Well, I mean, guys, he wasn't like just a manager. He was the identity of the Braves for like an entire generation. When you think about Braves baseball, the division titles, the dominance of the '90s, the calm presence in the dugout, the legendary pitching staffs. You think about like Bobby Cox. I mean, this is a guy who led Atlanta to 14 straight division titles. A record that still feels like almost impossible in modern sports. But you think about just how hard it is to stay good for 3 or 4 years in professional sports,
Let
man.
alone over a decade.
Exactly. He did it he was a top for over a decade. It's crazy. That level of consistency, man, it doesn't really happen by accident. That comes from leadership, culture, trust, and like baseball brilliance. Now that's what made him special, man. And that's why players loved him. From Chipper Jones to Greg Maddux to Tom Glavine to John Smoltz, they all talk about him like he's family. If you listen to their interviews, he defended his players harder than anybody. I mean, the man got ejected from games over 150
More than anybody.
times, because he would go to war for his clubhouse every single night. But beyond the wins and the Hall of Fame resume, Bobby Cox, represented stability, class, professionalism. He made Atlanta, nationally relevant in baseball. So you got to tip your hats to him, man.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking situation to say the least on that one. I'm not going to show that comment, but was Bobby Cox hard like you saw with Joe Torre and Tony La Russa? Bobby Cox was a pretty rough individual. The reason why I say he was a pretty rough individual, and it's well documented, you guys know this too, is he when the Braves would lose to start his career, he actually unfortunately did get physical with his wife after drinking alcohol. So that was always a problem there too. But overall, Bobby was the skipper. He was a legend. Shane, what do you remember most about Bobby?
Well, I mean, you go all the way back to his time as a player in the Yankees organization. That kind of set the tone for who Bobby Cox was going to be as a manager. He kind of sat in the dugout and learned there while in the Yankees organization, and I believe his first coaching job was actually with a minor league affiliate of the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know his first MLB managerial job was with the Braves. Of course, that was a little bit before. That was when they still had the powder blues, and we're not talking about the new City Connect uniforms. But then after that and his return, you look at those teams and everything, and as Matt and you just mentioned, I mean, people went to war for Bobby Cox just like he went to war for them. I saw a quote from Chipper said, ever since the Braves drafted him, him and Bobby were kind of tied at the hip. And he did everything he could possible not to let the Braves organization or Bobby Cox down during his playing time. Glavine came out and said, if you played for Bobby Cox one time, you would want to run through a wall for that man.
Yep.
So it is he just combined the best out of the person and the player. And that's kind of what you look for in a long manager kind of candidate. Hall of Fame guy is somebody that can get the best out of the player and the person, so definitely will be missed. That old Brave 6 uniform is definitely means a lot more. Now, which is, like I said before we even came on, the Braves were playing on Fox here, and they did Amazing Grace bagpipes for Ted Turner and Bobby Cox. Kind of their first home game back since all this transpired, and man, Like I told like I told y'all earlier, it'll bring tears to your eyes just hearing that. Not the mention, just kind of looking back on the career and me as a very young person growing up watching the Braves, kind of just what he idolized as a baseball coach in my mind.
Oh yeah, Bobby with Bobby, greatness was like, and here's what I think. Bobby was with him was synonymous with greatness. I wholeheartedly believe he could turn anybody around, anything around. And it was funny. They showed the interview that they did. And they asked Ted Turner, "What'd you think about Bobby Cox?" He's like, "Well, he's one of the greatest managers. I wish I had never fired him." And then obviously he came
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
And
yeah. Who would be? Yeah, the reporter asked him.
who do they want?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who would be the top managerial candidate for the team? And he
And he
said,
said Bobby
"Well,
Cox if I hadn't fired him.
it'd be Bobby Cox if I had just fired him."
Yep. And then obviously came back, and then the his rest is. This is one of the most iconic pictures, by the way. In case you guys don't know what that is, that's Ted
Oh
Turner,
yeah.
Hank Aaron, and Bobby Cox at the pearly gates of heaven. It was just a surreal moment, to say the least. And obviously, it sucks to say goodbye to Bobby. And also it's weird too, Shane, that both icons, Ted Turner and Bobby Cox, died within a 72-hour period of each other.
Oh yeah.
That's unheard of, kind of thing. And obviously, our thoughts go out to Ted Turner. Our thoughts go out to Bobby Cox's family. Really, truly great man. Especially what Ted he revolutionized television today. Almost everything you see on TV is because of what Ted Turner did. The first 24-hour news station, then followed was the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel is 24 hours. Remember, it used to stop at a certain point, and you just watch that ticker play the music all the time, and or whatever. And that was what you saw. Now you have 24 hours of a Weather Channel. You can, no matter where were, you turn on the TV on TBS, and there you were. You watch the Atlanta Braves. You could be up in New York. If you weren't watching the Mets, you're watching the Braves. You're watching the Yankees or the Mets, you're watching the Braves. It was the Braves. That was why they became America's team, is because of Ted Turner. The team became synonymous with success because of Bobby Cox. And, he helped revolutionize the draft for the Atlanta Braves. He was the one that said draft Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones. I mean, go after Greg Maddux. Like, all these great players were because of Bobby Cox, and he will definitely forever be missed. So shout out to the skipper, number 6 himself. Bobby Cox has passed away. Hey, Shane, something really cool. We were going to ask Marcus about this, and unfortunately, Marcus is not coming on tonight. He actually lost track of time and is doing stuff with his kids. This is his message. So we are going to reschedule with him. But Shane, this was something that's really cool. The Golden State Valkyries, they're continuing their valuation. They just surpassed the $1 billion mark, but it gets even better because yesterday or actually on Saturday, it was announced that the WNBA TV rights deal is in excess of $3 billion. This is huge for women's professional sports. We talk about this regularly about them being in the red or the black zone. The black is good. That's why they call it Black Friday, to get you out and means you're earning money. Well, now the WNBA is going to earn even more money and be even more revolutionized with this. What does this say to you, knowing that there is a team in professional women's sports who is worth $1 billion already, and then B, now we're seeing the granted rights deals $3 billion plus.
Oh yeah, well, we've seen a bunch of numbers from this past weekend, WNBA's opening weekend, and they're astonishing. But in all reality, it's a better product that they've put on the floor in the past few years, and that creates the buzz and gets people watching. So definitely great to see. We all know, Golden State. their big, basketball. Everything's kind of being taken away from them. First the Raiders, now the Athletics. So they're kind of holding on to what they can right now, and it's a big basketball town, especially there with the Warriors and sharing, that kind of arena there with them. So we're going to see more of these numbers and all go up, especially when you talk about valuations, of these WNBA franchises. Because, I mean, like you said, let's face it, it's here, and that they're in the black, so they're here to stay for a couple of years. So definitely interesting to see, um, and definitely after this weekend, this WNBA season is going to be one to watch.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm actually I feel kind of like a kid at a candy store when I talk about this. Not just because I'm a girl dad, because it's high quality entertainment, and I'm just really excited for what is transpiring for women's sports. I will tell you guys also, and Shannon and everybody knows. Excuse me, I didn't mean to cough on there. That tonight's episode is kind of more geared towards the women's side of sports because all of our sports stories are women related on that. But this is big. This is really big news for professional women's basketball. I mean, think about this for a second. It was what, only like 3 years ago they had even had discussions about possibly dissolving the WNBA because it was not earning anything, and it was kind of like a babysitter's club is what people had designated it for. So, Matt, we're talking about the fact that this is a question we were going to ask Marcus. Marcus is not coming on. He got tied up doing fatherly duties with his kids. Totally understandable.
Mhm.
So, the question we wanted to ask is what does this mean to him now that we see a WNBA franchise being valued at $1 billion? And then also the grant of rights deal for WNBA is now $3+ billion. What does that say to you? Now, Shane gave us his answer. What does that mean to you, knowing that, Matt?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, that just shows that there is a market for this league to succeed. We're going to start seeing now is when you're going to start seeing the bloom. And I knew this was going to happen right before all these players, the Juju Watkins and
You said
all
that
these
too.
power profile players came into the league. They want these players to stay in the league. See, they messed up earlier with Diana Taurasi when she was younger and those
Lisa
kind of players
Leslie.
because they will go overseas and make more money overseas, which is crazy. It's crazy that they're making millions of dollars overseas and not here in the United States. But now that they got, they have their, the media deal and they have everything that they need, these players are going to start getting $1 million contracts, which as we saw, which I think she signed too early. But, as we saw with your girl from the Aces, man.
Oh God, Asia Wilson.
Yeah, I think.
But then did you see the next day, literally,
Mm-hmm.
the next player said, no, my Aaliyah Boston said, no, hold my beer. I'm going to go even better.
Yep, I think they should have waited a little bit longer, man, just a little bit longer for this. And then now with this being with $3.3 billion deal.
Yeah, $3.3 billion grant of rights deal. That's pretty darn
Yeah,
good.
I think they should have waited. But you get your money now. You can say wait all you want, but get your money now. But yeah, but now we're gonna start seeing these contracts. I think these contracts are now gonna start being reminiscent to what the NBA was in the late '80s, early '90s, back when like Jordan was only getting like $5 million a year, things like that. So I think that's where the WNBA is right now.
Hey, it's exciting times regardless. Really, really proud of what is transpiring. Hey, I want to let everybody know before we go to our next topic, there is a Facebook profile that has been created that is not ours. So if you do get a message or a friend request from them, just report the profile, everything. We know who it is. So just ignore them. Unfortunately, people can't always be like us.
No, Brandon. That's how you know that you're trending upward when those fake profiles start coming, man. That's how you know. That's how you know you're doing it big, man. So we appreciate it, man. We appreciate it, guys.
We appreciate those three knuckleheads.
Yeah,
so.
it's our first fake profile, man. We're beyond excited, beyond ecstatic. I just want to thank you guys, man.
You
I want
love
to
me.
thank.
You
I want to
really
thank.
love me.
Yeah, I want to thank God first and foremost. I want to thank God.
You gotta do the speed. No.
Hey,
You gotta
man,
get the tears,
hey,
Matt. You gotta get the tears. Get the
let me
tears.
finish. I
Get
want to
the
thank God
tears.
first and foremost, man. Without him and his holy power, this would not have been. We would not have been able to do this. I want to thank my mom. God rest her soul. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank my brothers, my friends, everybody, my guys, and especially I want to thank you guys, Brandon and Shane, because if it wasn't for you guys, then we wouldn't be where we're at right now, man. Even dating back to the first season with JD and Greg and all those guys, man. We couldn't do it without any of you guys. So we made it, man. We finally made it. We got our first fake profile.
Oh my God. But Matt, where was the tears, man? You're supposed to have the tears too.
Man. I just didn't feel that I needed that right now, man. That's when I'm accepting the award. But
and you got to also act like like Jim Carrey did on The Mask. You love me, you really love me, and then you pretend you're walking off the stage. Yeah. Nah, but yeah, there is a fake. Nothing. Fake profiles are coming. So just ignore them. We are the true sports nuts, not those three. Hey, let's talk about the next thing. Like I told you guys, this show is kind of geared towards the women's sports side of this episode. The stage has been set. The field of 64 has been laid out. We are talking about the Women's College Softball World Series tournament. It has been announced, and there are actually some pretty good matchups lined up. We even have a team that has punched their ticket. This is literally the first time they've ever been there, and they are already tasked with the gauntlet of playing Oregon. And we're talking about Idaho State. There's, like I said, there's a lot of good games that are coming about. Which ones are you looking forward to most, Matt?
I might have to go, and I know Shane is probably gonna be looking forward to this too, man. But the LSU versus Virginia Tech.
Yes, I am too.
I think that's gonna be.
That's gonna be a fun one.
I've got my own opinions on that one.
Okay.
Because we were denied a chance to host a regional because of some hotel conflicts.
Yeah, I saw that story too.
Roanoke is less than 45 minutes down the road, and I can tell you they got plenty of hotels to put people up in. And so you telling me a top 16 team in the nation isn't even a top 16 team to host a regional? Come on, guys. You killing me.
Well, here's Shane's minute, but Matt, give us the rest of your man. Like, which other games are you looking forward to? There's a lot of really good matchups.
They are, man. I think the Texas versus Baylor, of course, man. That's potential matchup, man. That's gonna be good, man. And I think Tennessee at Virginia.
Tennessee's gonna go far. They're that pitcher from Tennessee was the number 2 overall pick in the AUSL draft. And she's a heck of a pitcher.
But with that particular game, it's going to be elite pitching versus elite hitting, man. So I kind of want to see how that game is going to end up. But also, got to give it, man, good old, right up the street, up 85. Well, even though Georgia's not 85, but Georgia versus Clemson, man. I think that one's going to be.
Your Georgia Tech's in there too.
Yeah, I know.
You know that this is the first time the entire state of South Carolina has been represented in the NCAA tournament, and that we're talking about Clemson, University of South Carolina, and USC Upstate, who has to pay the number 1 overall seed in Alabama. But and I will tell you this too.
Charleston too.
Yeah, and Charleston's on there. I will tell you this also. The head coach at USC Upstate, Chris, is actually Cassie's old coach. So she reached out to him and said congratulations. So he may come on our show. Really cool about that one. But
for those who don't know, Cassie is Brandon's wife.
Yes. Okay. And also, how about Cal Baptist? Who literally this is their first time in I think since the early 2000s that they've made it into the NCAA tournament. Really excited for them. There's just so many great matchups. I mean, you're talking Akron's in there. By the way, I also got to give a special shout out to South Alabama. I'm from Mobile originally, and that's where they play. USA is playing based out of Mobile, and they are playing. I'm really proud of South Alabama. Let's see, UCLA. Now, this is what was really weird. They fell pretty far, and they had a really good season. Cassie made the remark that they didn't have the best season, which is true. They didn't have the best, but they still they had a girl who set the most home runs in one single season. That's at 30. That's pretty cool for that one. Sorry, I got a text message about something. But just I mean, that's pretty cool there. But then also, how about this? Marshall's in it. Fordham got into it. Now there are some teams that are pretty questionable. Like they got it because they got the automatic qualifiers because they won their conference. But how about the Ivy League represented with Princeton getting in there, and then South Dakota's in there. But the team that I'm definitely, I told Cassie she needs to watch is Grand Canyon, and she's like, "Where are they at?" And it's like they're based in Arizona, and I said they're an up and coming prodigy with like all their sports now, and they're getting better every year in every sport, and they play for the Mountain West Conference. So you'll be really excited to see them on that.
That's the one. That's the one regional that I'm very interested in.
That's the
That
dark horse
Nebraska,
region.
yeah, Nebraska, Louisville, Grand Canyon, South Dakota. That
Mm-hmm.
one's going to be good. And then, one that you didn't mention is it Lubbock Regional,
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is playing good ball right now.
Yep.
That's definitely going to be a good one to see. And then UCF is a sneaky team that
Central
could
Florida.
put
Yeah, they're good.
that they could put Florida State out in the regional.
But how about this
So
too, Shane?
so
This is the
just
first
watch
time
out.
Florida State is not the overall favorites.
Oh yeah, well, I mean they've got a team.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Uh, they're sound defensively, have great pitching. They can score a lot of runs, but don't normally score a lot of runs. So I think that might have kind of hurt them in the seeding process.
It's possible. But you hit the nail on the head. Also, I mean, dude, let's just talk about this one for a second, okay? Oklahoma is not the overwhelming favorite for the first time, I think, in like 6 years. They're not the overwhelming favorites to win the Women's College World Series. So I'm trying to remember the last time you could say that Oklahoma, Florida State, and Texas Tech, they're not leading candidates to win the whole thing. So it's anybody's game. I'm really excited for all the matchups. I will say this though, that UNC Greensboro gonna have a little bit of a hard time, and then obviously College of Charleston's gonna have a hard matchup. I mean Wagner. I don't know. I understand why Wagner again because they won their AQ, but that's gonna be a hard one right there. That really is gonna be a hard matchup. So, but yes, really excited for all the women's sports that we've talked about so far. But guys, we have somebody on. You know him very well. He is our good friend John from the Pitch Grid. So the reason why I'm having him come on, raise your hand, and also in the comments if you remember Spygate. My hand's up. Shane, I know you remember it too. It's oh so well. It's with regards to the New England Patriots. Well, John and I were talking about this. Now, John, he's already told me he's going to do his darndest to keep it G-rated because this is absolutely something straight. Like you will see at it. You're going to eventually probably see this either on 2020 or Dateline or any other major media outlet as to how this story has transpired. John, man, it's good to see you. Happy Tuesday to you.
Happy Tuesday, Brandon. Glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me on. Hi, Matt and Shane.
Oh man!
How's
All right,
John?
so John, we have to address this I guess you call it the white elephant in the room. You're telling me that there is a Spygate 2.0. There's a New England Patriots situation going on in soccer.
Well, Brandon, where do I even start with this? This isn't even the first Spygate we've had in English soccer. Let me refresh. Not refresh. Let me regale you with the tale of 2019 when Marcelo Bielsa and Leeds United also spied on Derby County in 2019 ahead of their season matchup with Frank Lampard and company. Now they were fined $200,000. Well, let's fast forward to today. Well, Thursday specifically. And Middlesbrough and Southampton are set to play a two-legged playoff for the semifinal for a trip to Wembley for a playoff final, where the winner could receive $200 million in revenue. And Middlesbrough catch what is allegedly a Southampton first team analyst in the bushes with, I kid you not, Twitch streaming equipment.
Oh my God!
That he is literally sending footage to his piers back in Southampton. Now,
Huh.
Middlesbrough is in the northeast, near Scotland. Southampton is on the south coast. So this is like the longest trip possible. And they catch him. They find out. They confront him about it because they don't know who he is at first. They just see him with the equipment, and they tell him to delete, and he deletes the footage. Now, apparently, he goes and tries to do a Mission Impossible, and in the bathroom of the hotel that is connected to the training facilities, tries to change into a disguise and just drive off.
Oh my God. So wait,
And
now,
and
John,
so,
we know that the authorities they've been contacted about this, but do you think this is maybe an isolated incident, or in the grand scheme, is there something bigger that could be going on?
well, Brandon, over the weekend there have been leaked reports that several championship clubs have come forward to Middlesbrough and have said that they feel like they have been spied on by Southampton because the evidence they have brought forward so far is that they feel like Southampton adapted way too easily to their tactics that they had never used before on film, that they had just implemented and were trying out on Southampton specifically. Now, let me remind you, Southampton, as of today, after their game with Middlesbrough, is on a 21 unbeaten game streak. And all of this came about during this 21 unbeaten game streak. So there's now definitely some questions being raised. And Middlesbrough have even come forward and said they don't believe this is an isolated incident with them, that they believe Southampton has spied on them multiple times.
Do we
So
know when the possible punishments could be handed down?
now that's the interesting part. So Middlesbrough and Southampton played their second playoff leg today. Middlesbrough lost. So they would officially have been eliminated with that result today. However, due to the nature of this, the EFL told the disciplinary committee that they urged them to, quote, have to meet sooner than the 14 days that is usually required before a hearing is commenced. So the playoff final is a week from this coming Saturday. So the reports are saying that they will have a hearing before the playoff final. And Southampton's best defense so far is that they're claiming this is a guy who is a lone wolf and trying to impress Southampton. That has been pretty much disproven at this point. But yeah, there's a range of punishments that can be handed down, Brandon.
Now, is it's very well known that anything that happens, obviously, when it happened with the New England Patriots, they got fined $1 million, they lost draft picks, whatnot. But obviously, there was that mention that they could receive what's called the death penalty of sports, where you get your team completely taken away, either permanently or for a period of 2 to 5 years. Could we even see maybe something similar to that happen?
The range of disciplines is you're not going to see them like not being able to participate in sporting wise. The range of punishments you're going to see is anywhere from a fine to forfeiting the first leg, which would be an automatic 3-0 win for Middlesbrough, or it could be anywhere from a points deduction for next season, or it could be expulsion from the playoffs. Now, this is where it gets messy, Brandon. They just won in the playoffs. So they would technically be headed to the final, but they could get disqualified because of this incident.
What this like? I mean, dude, we had this discussion all weekend. It really does feel like something straight out of like a movie, doesn't it?
It really does. But the thing is, like, this is unprecedented. This is literally unprecedented because we have not had this kind of situation in English football in a knockout situation. We've had this happen before, and it's pretty much assumed that this happens all the time, but no one's been caught, right? Now someone has been caught in a playoff situation, and there are fans of Southampton that say they're saying, "Oh, we'll spy on you whenever we want, um, because we're Southampton. We can do that." There's, you know, I literally, there are instances in the game today that have me very mad and have me really not liking Southampton right now. They threw missiles at the Middlesbrough bus. The fans did as they were coming into the stadium.
Wow.
The one of the players called one of the Middlesbrough players a slur for stuttering.
Wow.
because he has to.
That is so disheartening, you know.
Yeah, it is, and like the Middlesbrough manager said it well after the first game. This is not on the fans. This is not on the players. This is on the club, specifically the manager and his staff and the club above him, the owners. And what's crazy, Brandon? This manager has now walked out of 2 press conferences because he's been confronted over this.
Yeah, he probably thinks in his mind, if I don't say anything, it'll just go away, and that ain't gonna happen.
No,
Oh my
it's not.
goodness.
It's only going to get worse. I bet you we probably see a punishment come down as of probably late this week, early next week. They're going to be looking at phone records. They're going to be looking at bills paid. They're going to be looking at all these things to make sure that it's not a repeat offense. If it is a repeat offense, we could see heavier punishments doled out.
His name is John. He is with the Pitch Grid podcast. I promise you're going to want to stay in touch with John, because John is he's gathering more information daily, and he's going to broadcast it more on his episode. Real quick, let everybody know where they can find you and when your next episode will launch.
I appreciate it, Brandon. You can find the Pitch Grid podcast anywhere you find podcasts: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Audible, all those great places. And you can find us on social media. If you want to contact me, reach out and talk. You've got Instagram, X, TikTok, all those great places on social media. And our next episode is going to be special. We have Alan McCann from the Colorado Springs Switchbacks coming on for a brief interview, and we're going to talk Spygate. Trust me, I'm going to have some thoughts for sure. So, and that might be most of the episode, let's be honest, besides the schedule release in the NFL. So, yeah, stay tuned because Picture's going to be hot this week.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to tune in. John, it's good to see you as always. We'll talk to you soon. Sound good, man?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right, take care.
All right, Johnny.
Oh, man. That literally, guys, that does sound like something you see out of a movie, doesn't it? It's crazy. Hey, real quick, let's give a special shout out to our paying sponsor, Columbus Cuisine. If you live on the island of Hawaii, more specifically Oahu, which is the main island on the island chain, and you are in need of somebody who is doing a catering or a corporate event, send me a message, Brandon Keeler on radio@gmail.com, and we'll get you in touch with Bobby. Bobby is a good friend of ours. I've known him for over 20 years. So, yes, really good food. Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look at the man below us. So, Ben, we heard a little tidbit before the show started. You're 6'4"?
About 6'5", actually.
Oh my God, you're as tall as I am.
Say what?
You're as tall as me.
I didn't know you were that tall. I figured you were like 4'11", man.
I forgot that. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ben. We hope you enjoyed his time at the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm 6'5". I mean, I might, depending on the pairs of shoes I wear, I may be 6'6" in shoes, but
can you dunk?
Yeah. So what? Can I dunk?
Can you dunk? Yeah.
I never actually really learned how to, man. Yeah, as much as I hoop, I never really learned how to. I know as crazy as that sounds.
Matt can dunk. He dunked on top of me before, and he not just dunked, he posterized me. So, Matt, tell him about your vertical you used to have.
Yes, Ben is correct. Dunking, you have to learn. You actually have to learn how to dunk.
It's not just a given.
Yeah, it's not, man. You got to learn how to land. People don't understand. You got to learn how to land properly. You got to learn.
Yeah, if you land properly, it's ACL torn city.
Everything's torn. I mean, dunking is. Ooh, but see, me being only 6 feet tall, man. I had a 40. At my peak was a 44.5-inch vertical leap back in my day. I can still dunk now at the age of 40. Yes, I can still dunk. But
don't listen to him, folks. That's not true. Last time he did that, he hurt his leg for like 2 weeks.
That is absolutely true.
I was fixing to say we saw the arm earlier.
Yeah, we saw the arm, let alone the knee.
Hey, that's what bowling is. It's a bowling injury, man. Bowling injury.
Yeah.
I can get rim, so I probably could dunk, but I just never really learned how to.
Yeah, man. Like I say, you really need to learn how to dunk. I mean, I'm not saying you don't need to learn. I'm saying if you're going to dunk, you really need to practice on the little goal first, and then you work.
But you don't look your height though, man. You really don't. I was thinking you were like 5'10".
Same here, Ben. I thought it was like 5'7", 5'8", or something. Like
we
that.
really thought that.
Not even gonna lie. especially with Shane over there, man.
I know, right?
I was gonna
Hey, I
say
told you.
Shane's closer to about 5'5", but
Yeah, Shane's a
Hey,
shorty.
I told you, it skipped the generation.
But man, Ben, it's so good to see you, man. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Tuesday and Friday edition of the show, man. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. I woke up to some birthday card from mom and pop, so hard to go wrong, man.
Oh
So
yeah,
Yeah,
happy birthday, man!
glad,
Happy
yeah.
birthday! Happy
Today is
birthday!
Ben's birthday.
yeah,
I was
glad
the first to wish it to him. Thank you, y'all. In
well,
your face.
actually, but anyway, no, actually, it was.
Out of the group
Whatever
of
helps
us,
you sleep at night, man.
the group of us, I was the first to text him. Nah, but Ben, we're so good to see you. Happy on. We were gonna have Marcus on, but unfortunately, Marcus got sidetracked with time, and he's doing fatherly duties, so we're okay with that one. It's okay. But we're talking
Kind of
tonight's episode has been more of the women's sports side. We just recently talked about the WNBA having a team that has valued at over $1 billion. The new grant of rights deal for the WNBA is $3.5 billion. What now? We've heard from Matt, we've heard from Shane. What are your thoughts on this, man? Like, this is pretty big news. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is pretty big news. Um, I'm just like you said. I'm definitely thrilled at the direction that women's sports is taking for sure. I think the fact that it's definitely getting a lot more exposure, just in general, from the WNBA to the women's hockey league, which I guess we'll be talking about here in a minute.
Yep.
But just the women's leagues getting some more exposure is definitely a good deal for America. It's definitely long overdue for sure.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, folks, if you don't know this by now, women's sports is here to stay. And you just heard Ben talk about it. The Professional Women's Hockey League has started its expansion as promised. Now, this is what's really cool. We did see Detroit got awarded a franchise. We also saw that Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada is getting a franchise. And it was announced on Saturday that both San Jose and Las Vegas are being awarded Professional Women's Hockey League franchises. And the expansions aren't done yet. There's actually a lot of great cities who are on this list. A new name popped up today, actually. Here is the list of potential cities that are next. It was 5, but I'm actually going to give you 6 because the one's going to go right down the road of Shane's neck of the woods. The first one, obviously, is LA. Los Angeles, gets precedence pretty much over everything, I feel. But Atlanta is mentioned on the list. Seattle, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, and Roanoke have all been listed as potential destinations for Professional Women's Hockey League franchises. So, with that being said, let's start with you, Shane. What does this signify to you, knowing that the hockey is growing for the women's side, and also the fact that your kind of your neck of the woods home area, Roanoke, is mentioned on that list?
Oh yeah, well, I can remember as a youngster up there in Virginia when I was growing up, we used to go to the Roanoke Express games, and boy, they were fun. So definitely they had a crowd there, almost every game. Definitely a good hockey town that could possibly support the team. Man, like you mentioned, you're going to see the main candidates kind of pop up here and there for expansion. I think that we're going to see it, reach that. I believe what they're supposed to announce the 11th and 12th teams
12th and 13th.
tomorrow.
The 11th team is going to be Hamilton.
Yeah. But I think they're supposed to announce 2 tomorrow, I
Yep.
believe, at some point. So we'll see that. But I could see within the next year or two, definitely being at that 16 to 20 team range, which kind of sets the precedent and kind of great for conferences and playoffs and everything like that to kind of have a meaningful season. Kind of anything under that 12 range kind of gets a little iffy which is, it's great to see that, we're talking about the Professional Women's Hockey League expanding to over 12 teams, but also we've seen in the softball, the professional
Mhm.
softball, how they're expanding as well. So definitely, getting past that 12 team threshold to that 16 to 20 team range is going to be sustainable for a short term goal, kind of saying for the Professional Women's Hockey League. But definitely, I think with the upswing in women's sports that we see in general nowadays, I think that we'll see that kind of sustain past that 5 to 10 year range with support in great cities that currently have a great hockey following.
Oh yeah, and and the word is they still got 15 more to go. So it's gonna be a
Wow.
lot more to go on to it. What do you think about this, Matt? I mean, you're not too far down the road from the Gas South Arena, where in case you don't know this where the Gwinnett Gladiators play, which is the ECHL team. But what do you? And this is what that would be actually for where they would start is the Gas South. If it goes to Atlanta, they would be in the Gas South. But they're building that new indoor hockey arenas up and coming, which is going to be like the largest. They're saying that it's going to be like 30,000 seats, which is the most in any NHL franchise, but let alone any hockey franchise. What does this say to you, knowing that we're not done yet seeing the expansion of these of hockey for women?
I mean, Shane hit it right on the head, man. I mean, pretty much, man. This will be big, especially if they can get past that 20 team threshold, man. If they can get up to around there, then they're here to stay. So I mean, I think that's the focus. That should be the focus. I think that is their focus. But to put it short, man, and piggyback off of what Shane said, it will definitely mean a lot to the game.
Ben, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, obviously, we've heard Shane, we've heard Matt's, and hockey is such it's such an electric sport to watch. It's better. People will tell
Yep.
you this, and I agree. It's better to watch it in person than on TV because it's hard to follow where the camera's moving constantly. But what are your thoughts, knowing that you're seeing expansion in Vegas, you're now seeing expansions in Hamilton and also in San Jose?
Yeah. Um, to piggyback off my previous comment, I think it's definitely great that the women's sports is getting the exposure that it is. But as it relates to the Professional Women's Hockey League, I would definitely agree that I think hockey is it's electrifying sport to watch. It really is. I kind of look for cities like Orlando, even or Miami, even. As cities that could also I could see eventually receiving a team, an expansion team at some point. But it's good to see. I feel like the game of hockey in general, from the women's and the men's, has really, I feel like, has definitely grown in popularity over the past few months. And I think Jack Hughes, the hero story, the heroic story of Jack Hughes is a big reason for that. And the fact that the women's obviously won the gold as well. The men and women winning both, both golds is was huge for the game. I think it really was.
Oh yeah, we're excited. So stay tuned. We're definitely going to have more updates as time goes by. Now comes the segment that we all enjoy. It is the sports story segment. We all give you a sports story that traditionally you don't find a lot of on the mainstream media, but we do. Shane, tell about your sports story.
Well, my sports story is going to go back to my roots as a NASCAR guy. Talk about the All Star race. As many NASCAR fans know, the weekend before Memorial Day weekend and the Coca-Cola 600 is normally reserved for the All Star race, which was traditionally held in Charlotte. Ventured out to a couple other places. That they kind of experimented with the past 3 years. It's been done at North Wilkesboro, but with North Wilkesboro getting a points race this year, one race had to go, and so they chose Dover, Delaware, and the Monster Mile, as they call the track, a full 1 mile concrete track as the spot to host the All-Star race and lose a points race. This year, though, we're doing things a little bit different, and that's kind of why I wanted to highlight this story. So just the things that I wanted to highlight, we're going to have a full field for the first time. So all charters are going to be available to race in the first two segments of the race, which is going to be a 350 lap race. First segment and second segment will be 75 laps. The last segment will be 200 laps. After the first segment, the top 26 in the field will be inverted. So if you finish first in the first segment, you'll start 26 in the second segment. But that doesn't necessarily set the field as far as the top 26 go. So it's kind of challenging to follow, but wanted to highlight it so you could. The final segment is going to feature all the 25 and 26 race winners since the last All-Star race. And then you'll get the past All-Star winners and series champions that are guaranteed to spot in that last segment. And then after that, you'll get one fan vote, which is pretty cool what NASCAR does. One person that the fans let into the race will be in that 25, and then the rest of the field will be filled with the top performers by average finish on their first two segments. So it's a pretty interesting, complicated format to follow. Hopefully,
right.
one of the reasons why the All-Star race is being held at Dover, because the race was so lackluster the past couple of years. But Goodyear has brought out a couple different tire compound. Right sides were the ones that they used at Bristol this past spring. Left sides are going to be from the ones that they used on Dover. So two proven concrete tires. Should be interesting to see. And with the changes that NASCAR made to the spoilers and the horsepower on these smaller tracks, be very interesting to see. So I just wanted to highlight that for all you guys out there.
I like it. Matt, what is your sports story that you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah. The Utah Jazz, may have just become the center of one of the most, fascinating basketball stories in America, coming from my perspective. The story involves tanking, lottery heartbreak, college basketball power moves, and the future of basketball in the state of Utah. For those who don't know, the NBA lottery just happened this past yesterday. The Utah Jazz ended up getting the number 2 pick in the draft. You might think, oh my God, that's awesome. That's great. Utah got the number 2 pick. But that's an issue. They didn't get number 1. And the reason why they wanted to get number 1 is simple. AJ DeBanza. For those who don't know, AJ DeBanza, probably going to be the first pick in the draft. Goes to school at BYU. Hey, BYU, Utah, Jazz. It's only right? So pretty much the Jazz spent the entire season clearly positioning themselves for the future. They lean heavily into youth development, players like Keontae George stepping up, averaging 24 a game out of nowhere. Players.
Does John Collins still play for them?
Yes, John Collins does play for them. He comes off the bench for them, but people forget they also traded for Jaren Jackson from the Grizzlies, and they also have Walker Kessler. That's probably the best defensive. Well, next year probably will be the best defensive front court in the league. Everybody knew what the goal was, maximize lottery odds and try to get the number 1 pick in the draft. So in a draft where scouts, believe there was a franchise-changing draft. This is a very top-heavy draft, guys. Top 10 picks can easily all be all-stars and easily be franchise leaders.
Always be bust too.
They could always be bust, and there will be bust. But Utah fans sat through all the losses believing there was a payoff coming. And then the lottery happens, and the Jazz fall to the number 2 pick. Not catastrophic, because you have Darren Peterson, which is a guard you don't need because you have Keontae George, and but painful to say the least.
Who was that player that they got that didn't want to be there? What was his name?
Which player?
Colin Sexton?
No,
they had Colin Sexton, but
it just happened a couple years ago.
Didn't want to be in Utah.
Yeah, remember we talked about him on our show.
Gosh,
I don't blame him. I don't want to play there either.
Because he complained about the fact that he got drafted by Utah. He didn't want to play for Utah.
Oh yeah, no. That was Ace Bailey, but
Ace Bailey.
they
Ace
ended up
Bailey,
drafting
yeah.
What
him
is Ace
anyway.
Bailey doing nowadays?
No,
Is
no,
he
he
still-
had a solid rookie year. Ace Bailey probably has the highest potential of anybody on that team. Ace
Yeah,
Bailey
he
had
had
a
14
top,
points a game this
yeah,
year. Yeah,
very
yeah.
solid rookie year, man. And he's only going to get better. So the plan was to pair Ace Bailey with AJ DeBenson and probably have the best young dual pair of wings in the league coming up. Have them grow together with Keontae George at running point, but probably not going to happen with the Jazz. Getting the number 2 pick. So, Utah is now in this bizarre place where the Jazz intentionally bottom out for a superstar, missed out on the number 1 pick. That just goes to show guys, tanking, is it really worth it?
But you guys are also assuming that AJ DeBanza is number 1. Anybody
I
can
was
be
about
number
to say
1.
there's a very real possibility. Very real possibility he doesn't get picked number 1.
Yeah, there is. Anybody can be.
Who are the Wizards going to pick at number 1?
By the way, why did the
Aaron
Wizards get
Peterson.
it when they have freaking Trey Young and Anthony Davis on their team and
The
Alex
Wizards
Sarr?
Wizards are very guard heavy. You forget the Wizards had a top 10 pick in Trey Johnson last year, who they are very high on, who plays the shooting guard position. They also had Will Howard. They got another guy they drafted in the first round, middle of the first, right outside the lottery, that they're very high on. They got Trey Young. They got Anthony Davis. Now, I can see the Wizards moving back. a couple of spots, because
I don't think so. This draft is too deep. It's too talented, man. It's too talented.
Yeah. But people
Next year's draft is not as strong. At least we're gonna win.
No. I mean, the Wizards moving back a couple of spots from like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3.
To get more capital for this draft.
Why would they do that?
You get more capital for this draft.
Because honestly, they don't need the bench. They have wings. They have wings that they're very high on that they spent.
They absolutely need the band, so they're picking number 1 for a reason.
Yeah, they're picking them on for a reason. That's true. And this is the first time in 10 years where the team with the
Hey, they
worst
should have had
record
number
in
1
the
pick
league
last
got
year,
the number
though.
1 pick. Hey man, lottery. It's a lottery. Pinball.
Yeah.
The ping pong balls got to fall. The ping pong balls got to fall.
It's
But
rigged.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely. Ben, what is your sports story you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, I'm actually going to keep it in the NBA. For the second year, ladies and gentlemen, in a row, the teams, all 4 teams that had the top 4 odds to have a top 4 pick, only 2 of them actually ended up being in the top 4 for the second year in a row. This just goes to show that tanking in the NBA, it don't work. It don't work. And with this new lottery system, this new proposed system that they're trying to implement, I think you're going to see tanking be more and more a thing of the past. But this year, as the top 4 odds, you had the Pacers, you had the Bulls, you had I think it was the Grizzlies. No, sorry, it was the Jazz and the Wizards. So only the Jazz and the Wizards ended up with the top 4 pick in this year's draft.
The Hawks had a 40% chance to get a top 4.
Say what?
The Hawks had a top 40. They had a 40% chance to get the top 4.
I don't think so. New Orleans won their last few games, which moved the Hawks down.
Yeah, that moved us down.
But speaking of the lottery, boys, ladies and gentlemen, the Indiana Pacers, through some kind of wonky trade, I really don't even understand it.
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers, how it worked is they had I think it was a top 3 protected pick. And so if they got into the top 3, they would have gotten able to pick. Well, because the Pacers did not get a top 4 pick, they should have, but they didn't. The reason that they are no longer picking in the lottery is because the Clippers had the better of that trade.
Paul George.
So the Pacers don't even have a pick in the first round this year. Now the Clippers get to pick 5th overall. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Pacers really got screwed on this one. So, that's my sports story. For the second year in a row, you had only 2 teams, only 50% of the teams with the highest odds to be top 4 pick actually is picking in the top 4.
That's crazy.
Way to go, league. Hey, mine real quick sports story was about Texas Tech Lady Red Raiders. The softball team, they went on an absolute tear this year. They finished the season at 52-6. That's crazy. They're going to play over 60 games total when this is all said and done. And really interesting to see that teams are starting to turn into that 60-game match. So really excited. Now it comes everybody's favorite segment. What we do is we give you the Yes, it is the honorable mentions. We give you 2 to 5 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of or just doesn't cover, but we do. So my first honorable mention goes out to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oh my goodness, we are seeing some really good hockey. And Shane, let's do this right away. I got to give a shout out to your Carolina team. I got to give a shout out to Anaheim, and I'm even going to give a special shout out to Colorado. Last night's game between Minnesota, I really thought Minnesota was going to come back, and Colorado said no. So that's my first honorable mention. Shane, what's your first honorable mention? Stop biting and laughing at me because I'm making fun because I'm choosing your teams.
Well, no, my first honorable mention is going to go out to along your lines, the Carolina Hurricanes. They just swept Philly for their eighth consecutive win of the playoffs. Only a handful of teams have won this many games in a row. I believe the Canadians are the only other team to win 9 games to start a postseason. And I believe out of them, only one of them hasn't made the Stanley Cup final, and the majority have won. So let's fingers crossed. That the Hurricanes don't sit back too long. Hopefully Montreal can finish off this game tonight and then the next one, so we don't have to wait so long at the house getting ready for the next round of the playoffs. But definitely
Why you got to cheer on Montreal?
Hurricanes.
Why can't you cheer on Buffalo?
Because they're up.
The game's tied.
Montreal's up 2-1 in the series. So if they win, then it can only go one more game after this, possibly. So get our guys back on the ice. That's what I want to see.
I told y'all.
Let's not cheer on Montreal.
I told y'all Carolina was going to be a force in these playoffs, and y'all were like, nah, I don't see it. Nah, I don't see it.
Hey, I was pulling for it, but I'm going to go against them. I'm telling you, the more I root against somebody, the better they do.
Yeah, I knew it.
That's kind of how it goes. Matt, give us your first honorable mention, please.
My first honorable mention, if I can talk, I got to give it to the Philadelphia 76ers for finally wising up. Daryl Morey is out. Daryl Morey.
I was about to tell you that too.
Out. Yes, he is out. I think he was the president of basketball operations. Hey, the Sixers, the staff met, and he is out. He is out. I mean, after you get straight, they got swept, right? Didn't they just get swept? They got swept.
They sure did.
Yep. After you get swept like that, man, even though I get it, you got a young team, you weren't expecting, to be where you're at, but still to get swept like that. I think it's time to move on from the Joel Embiid experiment, man. It's just time to move.
I'm so glad you said that. Shout out to CBS Sports for putting out a bodacious article that Joel Embiid is favorites to land to the Atlanta Hawks if he is to move on from the Philadelphia.
Hey, we'll take him.
Stay away from
We'll take him.
He's only good for like 50 games a year.
I'll take 35. I'll take 35.
I'll be lucky. You'll be lucky to get 20 out of him, Matt.
I'll take 35 and just save him for the playoffs.
Listen, man, he's what, 280 pounds? I know he's big, but he needs to lose some weight, man. You put him down there in Atlanta, he may be eating too much varsity. He's doing 320.
No. See, here's the thing, man. Nobody eats varsity. Nobody eats varsity.
Everybody, it goes through you as fast as you eat it.
But Shane, they do go there. They do go there, Shane. They do go there.
Some lemon pepper wings.
Hey, look, man. Hey, Joel Embiid, he can come back down to Atlanta, get a couple more baby mamas, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
Anyway, Ben, give us your first honorable mention, please. Baby mama.
Yeah, I'm actually going to keep it. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of Matt a little bit, talking about the Knicks and sweeping the Sixers a little bit more. So. What Matt failed to mention is that in that series, the Knicks in the final game, they tied the 3-point record. They tied the record for most threes in a single game in a single playoff game, tying the record with the 23 Milwaukee Bucks and the 16 Cleveland Cavs. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand The 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. You know what they did? Won a chip. They won
Don't
a
say
chip.
it.
Got
And
that
if
ring.
I remember correct, I think the
Don't say
Bucks.
it.
I think the Bucks won the championship in
Don't
23.
say
Didn't
it.
They did, didn't they?
Don't you
Yeah.
dare say it about this
I'm,
team.
He's about to say
I'm
it. He's
just,
about to
Don't
say
you
it.
dare say it. Don't you dare say it.
listen,
The trajectory is there.
The proof
there,
is in
ladies
the
and
pudding.
gentlemen. There might be a team wearing blue and orange win the
Oh
NBA
my
Finals
God.
this year, and I ain't talking about Oklahoma City.
You know, after each Knick playoff win, you know what they go out to the streets of New York and they're all crowd. You know what they're still saying?
Trae Young sucks.
F Trey Young.
Yeah,
F Trey
they still
Young.
say it to
F
this
Trey
day.
Young.
To this day,
But
they
listen,
still
if the
say
Knicks
it.
They
get,
still
if the
say
Knicks
it.
get a championship, y'all gonna have to eat crow because they ain't gonna matter one lick that what Trey Young did.
If the
in
Knicks win the
This is gonna be the worst.
championship,
This is
I
gonna be the
guarantee
worst,
the
man.
first word's going to come out of their mouth is F Trey Young. That's the first thing they're going to do when they win the
That's
championship.
exactly what they're gonna do. But this is the worst. Those are the Knick fans and Cowboy fans. Those
Oh
are
my
the
God, the
one.
worst.
Those are the two fan bases you do not want winning any kind of rings.
No,
You
because
know?
they will never, ever
Oh
shut
my
up.
I'm gonna say
God.
this. I just say this. I think it was a week ago on this show, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, that I said whoever wins the Western Conference is going to win the finals.
Last week.
I'm going to redact that. I'm going to go back on that. I'm going to say whoever
Can't now, no,
wins,
can't now. Sorry, it's in writing.
whoever
Oh,
wins the
man.
West, whoever wins the West, I will say I still think it's probably better than 50% chance odds they win it. But ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks, what they are doing in the playoffs, they're not just breaking record or tying records.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, they're winning their games by 20, 30 plus. I mean, they're
Yeah.
dominating.
They're mollywopping his Matt likes to
They're
say.
beating young team and inexperienced teams.
Oh, come on now. Give them some
They're
credit.
beating young inexperienced teams. They beat the
Come on,
Hawks.
man.
Oh, whoop de doo.
They blew
beat
out
the
Philly.
Sixers.
They blew out Philly, what, 3 times? And Philly
It's
just beat
Philly, yeah.
Boston. A lot of
Okay.
teams predicted champion.
When Embiid was playing, those
He
games.
played though during the.
I think he only played like 1 or 2 games.
2 games
When
still. He played game 4,
when Embiid played, it was a close game.
not game 4. Were you
They
looking?
still beat
where
Boston,
you
man.
were?
Philly still beat Boston.
Were you watching
And
the
New
same
York
game
beat
4
that
that we were
team.
watching? Because at one point they were down by 45
Yeah, of
with
course,
Embiid
of
on
course
the court.
they were.
I'm just saying, you're laughing now. Just wait. If the Knicks win
Anyway.
the finals, where are you going to stay then?
Anyway, my second honorable mention goes out to the Cleveland Guardians. They traded for Gold Glove winner Patrick Bailey from the San Francisco Giants, which an article was released today that the Giants are already in a mass sell-off, including the starting rotation is going to take place soon. So they're like so far out of their race, it seems they're not even going to get a chance to catch up. So, yeah, shout out to the Cleveland Guardians for landing a really good player, Patrick Bailey. Shane, give us your next honorable mention.
Well, seems like I'm going to stick right along your lines. I'm going to keep it in the MLB, and my second honorable mention is going to shout out to the MLB and the MLB Players Association. Today was announced that they're currently holding their first official CBA talks. So this is just kind of a basic presentation type deal between the two sides to say, hey, this is where we're at. Let's get together going down the road, set up some more meetings and deadlines and stuff to get some things moving before December 1st. So definitely excited to see that for the MLB and the Players Association. Hopefully, no strike.
Yeah, we don't need a strike. Matt, give us your next honorable mention, please.
Due to time constraints, I do not have any more.
Okay, Ben, give us your next honorable mention.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of tying records, Donovan Mitchell tying the playoff record for most points in a half in a playoff game. So that's the second time. That's the second time in a week that we've seen a record tied in the NBA playoffs, but not broken. Donovan Mitchell scored 39 points last night, man. He was on a heater. And if anybody tuned into that game, tale of two halves. First half, they were awful, man. He was awful. I think he was 0 for 6, if I remember correct. One of
Fans
7.
were booing him out this court. They were telling him to get off the
He
court,
was one-
basically.
He was 1 of 7, 0 of 6, something like that. And man, he could not miss in the second half. Could not miss.
And people are sitting there in the first half booing him, and then second half they're calling in chanting the MVP chant.
I'm gonna tell you
I heard
right
that.
now, if Cleveland keeps shooting like that, Detroit's cooked. They have nobody that besides Kate Cunningham, they're not built to come from behind. Detroit just can't. They can't compete with that firepower, man.
Well, they did. They did come back behind 24
because
at
Orlando didn't score
halftime.
back. They couldn't buy a basket. You couldn't even buy the dome off the daggone lid. That's how bad it
Detroit is an
was.
elite defensive team, but if they get down by 10 plus, they're cooked. They're cooked.
Yeah. My third honorable mention goes out to Navy and the new $5 million baseball complex they built is the state-of-the-art building. It is one of the most expensive buildings, by the way, that the Naval Academy has ever done for a sporting program. That's pretty neat to know that they're dropping that kind of money for quality baseball. So I love it. Shane, give us your third final honorable. If it is your final one, give us your third honorable mention.
Yeah, I'm going to combine my third and fourth honorable mentions. As Matt said, due to the time. Third honorable mention was going to go to Pensett Badgett from East Surrey, North Carolina. Set the high school record for a 60 in the first round of the state championship tournament this weekend.
Wow.
My final honorable mention is going to go out to the AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds, the Louisville Bats.
Yes.
They tonight are hosting a promotion called Nothing Night. This is it's going to consist of no ads, no music, no video, no on-field promotions.
No nothing.
No nothing.
Love it.
It's meant for baseball to be consumed in its purest form. What they said. So shout out to them for doing that.
Yeah, I love it. I was really excited. I'm glad you mentioned that one. Ben, give us your next honorable mention.
Yeah, this will be my last one for time constraints. It'll be quick. I'm actually going to give the third and final honorable mention to Paul Skeens, ladies and gentlemen. For those that have been tuning in to the baseball game tonight, Paul Skeens almost had a no hitter through 7 innings. Only allowed 1 run, and he had 10 strikeouts. Listen, I'm just going to say it. I love Chris Sale, man, for the Atlanta Braves. Love him. But I think the best pitcher in the MLB, other than, and not named Shohei Ohtani, resides in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Paul Skeens is he may already, in my opinion, if he keeps this up, I don't see how he's not going to make the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he's definitely something special. I guarantee you, his time in Pittsburgh's coming to an end because he don't want to be.
Oh, you know, Livy Dunn don't want to live up there, man.
I was about to say, she don't want to be around there. You know that they don't want to be around a miserable franchise.
He'll be playing
like
for the
that.
Houston Astros or Atlanta Braves next year. You watch.
Something. If he plays for the Braves, man, I will be the first person to buy his jersey. I'll buy it for all 4 of us. That's how excited I'd be. My final honorable mention.
City Connect.
There you go. My final honorable mention, and I've already mentioned it once, but I'll mention it again, is to my daughter Addison. Y'all already know that she did absolutely amazing this season. She had 4 home runs this season. She's had 5 in her career already. And she helped lead the team to an 8-2 record. They are in the playoffs. They are the number 3 seed, unfortunately, because the number 1 seed, I didn't even know this, that they went 10-0, and the closest anybody got was 17-3. And then, of course, we lost, unfortunately, the last game, 14-8. So shout out to them. But then also she has been named a member of the Powdersville 8U All-Stars. Congratulations to my girl for this amazing honor. She could end up actually playing for the state championship and even the national championship. Really proud of my daughter as a whole. She's really taken a liking into sports, and it just makes me so happy that she has embraced softball as well as basketball. And my father-in-law is smiling down because his number 1 purpose was to make sure Addison played softball, and he bought her all of her first equipment. And here we are a few years later, and she is potentially playing for state. So really proud of her. Y'all, this has been a really good show. Real quick, I want to let everybody know we still have our poll going on. It is we want you guys to vote for the potential next permanent segment of the show. Now, we only have a few days left, so please go on Matt's page, Ben's, Shane's, mine, and in the Sports Nuts Facebook page, not the fake one that's already out there. But go on to our pages and vote as often as possible. We are excited about that one. Also, want to let it. Oh my goodness! I just had a brain fart. It'll come back to me another time. Just want to let everybody know that it is on all of our pages. Oh, yeah. We are also looking for a final member of the website for the sports reporting side. Now, it is no pay at this time, but and eventually it will be coming pay. The ad is on all of our pages. Check it out. If you're interested, send me a message on Brandon Keeler on radio@gmail.com, and we'll talk. Upcoming episodes will be episode 229 this Friday, the 15th. We have two guests, y'all, two coming on. We have the first one, which is the Modesto Roadsters, is a summer league baseball team based out of Modesto, California. The vice president is coming on. And then also we have, this is a podcast. It's called The Kings from Queens Sports Podcast. In case you can't tell, they're from Queens, New York. So they're going to talk to us about hockey, baseball, and football. And then episode 230, Tuesday, May 19th, our good friend Tony Glasson returns for his bi-weekly Tony Knows Ball series. We have a great time with Tony on there. We'll have to talk with him. And then episode 231 is Friday, May the 22nd. That might be Marcus's. No, that won't be Marcus because he's on a Tuesday. So actually, episode 232 is Tuesday, May the 26th. So we have a lot more coming, including Shane is working really hard at getting somebody from racing to come on. He has a lot of big potential opportunities for guests coming on. So we're really excited. And we are also on 10K watch. We need 425 more subscribers to hit the magic number of 10,000 on YouTube. Help us get there. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned in tonight, everybody who will tune in the coming days, thank you guys so much. Ben, give your final goodbyes, please.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you for tuning in the show. It's much love over here. We love y'all. Thank y'all for the love and support. And everybody stay safe out there this week. And God bless.
Matt, give your final goodbyes, please.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Especially piggybacking off of what Ben said, man. You guys just enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. Whatever comes up, we'll see you guys on Friday. Don't get flagged.
Don't get flagged in the game of life, absolutely. And Shane, tell everybody your final goodbyes, please.
Yeah, Matt, I'm surprised one of your honorable mentions wasn't the first father-son duo to get swept out of the playoffs.
He didn't want to say it. That's why. He didn't want to say that. Because he's the Bronny James supporter.
Hey,
But anyway, I had to throw that little bit of jab in there. But anyway, man, as always, man, we appreciate everybody out there watching, supporting, liking, following, all that kind of good stuff. May the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease. Indeed, as I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down Wyatt. It's the greatest sports city there ever was. Hey, everyone, enjoy your week. We'll be back with you again on Friday. And if you know anyone who is into sports and would like to be interviewed, send us an email, BrandonKeelerOnRadio@gmail.com. Until then, you guys have a fantastic evening and enjoy this outro that Matt has done. Goodbye.